Hello traders, I'm going to be talking to you all about the top-down analysis and what I do. In case I did not put it in the other video, I have lost some footage, so yeah, I'm not a happy camper, but I'm just going to go over it really quick. Okay, for my top-down analysis, you don't have to do this because I am a day trader. However, I still look at my weekly. And I will tell you why again. I look at my weekly to make sure I am not I look at my weekly candle to make sure it has not reached a supply or demand zone. So write that down because you know I'm going to erase this really quick. Hold on, my marker is going out. I'm going to need a different one. So yes, with the top-down analysis, I check my weekly, and I know that a lot of people say that is giving way too much. It throws them off. It's not enough information. I mean, it gives too much information, but I look at it this way. Let me show you why I look at the weekly. Because this is what I want to be sure of. Okay, say this is my weekly chart. And with the weekly charts, it may have been rising, falling, rising. And we know that if it takes a candle, a weekly candle, an entire week to form, you got to think about this. Everything that happens on a lower time frame also happens on a higher time frame. And you just want to be prepared. You don't want any whipsaws and you're wondering what has taken place. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, this is my weekly chart. Why am I steady grabbing this marker that doesn't work? And this is my 1 hour chart. Okay? I have period separators on my laptop. And what they do is they give me lines that look like this. And if you are working from your laptop, you can get these by pressing Control and Y. These will help you out so much because it will separate your days or your weeks. So if you put it on a 4-hour chart, the amount of candles in here will be from the beginning of the week to the end. If you're on a 1-hour chart, there will be 24-hour candles within this area, which helps you stay in line with what you're doing. So say, for example, here I am on a 1-hour chart, but I'm going to do my top-down analysis. I'm going to look at my weekly because if I know that I'm in an overall uptrend, of course, that means I got a lot of candles. I'm not going to be switching back and forth. I'm just going to show you. Okay, so say I'm in an uptrend, and I've been in an uptrend because according to this, we've been in an uptrend for 1, 2, 3 weeks. I need to know that, okay, now this has reached a form of resistance as well. Like I said, anything that happens on the smaller time frame also happens on a higher time frame. So you just want to be aware. Yes, I know I'm in an uptrend. Okay. However, if I look at my weekly and I see that my bearish candle has begun to form and it's at a resistance level, it's telling me that it's probably going to pull back. So what I'm looking for down here is to be careful, because even though I'm jolly and I've been riding this trend, if I begin to see bears enter, I need to know why. What's happening? So if I even see at the beginning of the week that I have a little bit of a candle forming on that weekly, I need to take advantage of that. I need to then go back down to a lower time frame, probably my 15-minute or my 5-minute, so I can see. I'm not saying this for you. You can do this when you have been trading for some time, because this is going against the grain. The grain is an overall uptrend. Okay? The grain is an overall uptrend. But I am trying to show you how I do my top-down analysis and why I do it this way. Okay? So if I know that I have a small candle forming on my weekly, I know I can go to a lower time frame and take advantage of this, because I know this is going to take an entire week to form. So what does that tell me? That tells me that on a lower time frame, I could take advantage of that downtrend for a whole week. I can ride it and get paid for that whole week. Okay, so this is why I look at my weeklies, because if then, say, it's been a couple weeks that I've rode on the lower time frame, and then it begins to get choppy or it begins to go sideways, I'm going to look over here. I'm going to check my daily, because I check all of them, not just the weekly. I only really check my weeklies to make sure that it's not at a supply or demand zone, which will be the major zones where there have been huge candles or huge wicks, huge rejection levels. That's what I'll call them. Okay, so, and if I know that, say for instance, I did not know what was taking place and I'm wondering what's happening now because I've been in an uptrend. Now I'm thinking I'm in a downtrend when I'm really not in a downtrend. It's just that that weekly candle is, it's time for them to pull back now. Some people only trade the weekly. Some people only trade the daily. So you have to take that in perspective, just as you do when you're driving. When you're driving a car, you can't just hop over to your right lane, even though you got your right signal on. You have to make sure your mirrors are positioned. You have to check your rearview mirror and the side mirror. And you may want to do a quick glance to make sure that no one's over there before you make your move. That's the same thing when you are doing your top-down analysis. You want to be sure, okay, I've been riding GU for an entire month. You know, now it's going sideways. Oh my goodness, it must be time for it to reverse. That's not necessarily true. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to reverse. Check your weekly and see what's happening. Check your weekly and zoom all the way out so you can get a picture, a big picture of the entire screen. You know, you want to see the entire screen. And then if you see a red candle that has come to a demand zone here, you know I normally write this in blue or green because demand is down there with support. So then that'll tell me, oh, that's what's happening. I'm not in a full downtrend, because you don't want, in the back of your mind, you don't want to be thinking you're now in a downtrend, because that's how you're going to prepare your setups. And that's not always the case. And you want to make sure you are following the overall trend. Now, I check my overall trend on my daily chart, but I check my weekly when something is going on, it's choppy, or prices are moving funny, or you know they're acting different. I'm gonna go find out what is happening on that weekly chart. I just need to see that candle. Where is it? You know, and so that helps me be in position of where I'm going. It helps me to position my trades. So then I know I have a whole week for this candle to complete, right? So either I'm going to ride that week on that lower time frame, or I'm just gonna wait it out to see what's gonna happen next. So I may get a doji, or I may get some form of a signal to let me know that, okay, now I'm ready to go back in my uptrend, you know. And if that's the case, then I will know I can now go to my lower time frame. If I have been making my lower highs and lower lows, and now the bulls have entered the market, and on my daily I see the bulls have entered the market, on my 30-minute the bulls have entered the market, I'm ready to get in. So this is why I check the weekly. Now let me erase this. You can always rewind it if you need to, just in case you were, making notes. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare you that I was going to erase. But so now I check the weekly. I'm going to put major level. Major level for me means supply or demand. I'll just put that because I want you to write down everything you can. So I will check my weekly only to make sure that I'm not at a level, but my overall trend, I check my daily. Okay, this gives me my overall trend, and I always trade from the 4 hours chart because, again, I don't like sitting in front of my computer all day. I have things to do, so I like being able to come back every 3.5 to 4 hours to see what's happening. If my trailing stop if I need to move my trailing stop up a little bit, or if I've been stopped out, I want to do all of that, and I'll do a video on the trailing stop. Or let me see how many minutes. Yeah, because we're in 12 minutes already. So again, I go to this is my go-to. My go-to is my 4 hours chart. Okay, so I got my overall trend. I'm checking my 4 hours chart. I'm going to look at my 1 hour chart just to see if it's in sync with my 4 hour. I check my 15-minute to see if it is also in sync with me, and I enter on a 5-minute. Sometimes I do enter on a 15-minute, but I really like to enter on a 5-minute because it gives me a better entry. I'm not going to say a perfect because there is no perfect entry, but I like to get in on a 5-minute because it gives me a perfect entry. Again, I'm going to draw this really quick so I can end this video. If I am if my overall uptrend, if I am in an overall uptrend and I am looking at my 5-minute and it is going in a downtrend, these are opposite. They're not in sync. I have to wait until this is over. Again, this downtrend is a pullback of this. Okay? This is this pullback here. All right? And then once this is over and gives me signals, then this will be this. So you want to be mindful of how many candles it is, and is it time? Is it is it complete? Is it serious? Like, am I ready to pull back, or not? Am I ready to pull back? Am I ready to enter, or is it going to play around a little bit? So you want to make sure that this downtrend is over and the bulls have entered the market. All right, I hope that makes sense. Rewind this video if you need to, and you all have a good night.